They call this the beginning, the fresh start. But for Leo, standing at the edge of a 26-mile dream, it felt like the end before it even began. The start wasn't a promise, it was a prison. His mind wasn't on the first step. It was already trapped at the finish line, paralyzed by the impossible distance between here and there. He wasn't scared of starting, he was scared of not finishing. He was trying to run the whole marathon in his head before his feet had even moved an inch. The weight of the unrun miles was crushing him. But then, Coach Eli did something strange. He didn't point to the distant finish line. He pointed to a small, insignificant crack in the asphalt, just 10 feet ahead of the start line. "Forget the finish," he said. "It doesn't exist for you right now. Your race isn't 26 miles. Your race is to that crack. Can you run to that crack?" Leo looked from the crack to the coach, a flicker of hope in his eyes. He took a deep breath and pushed off. His legs felt like lead, but he ran, not to the finish line, but to the crack. He crossed it, stumbling, then looked back. The coach was still there, now pointing to a scuff mark a little further down the track. "Now run to that scuff mark." Leo didn't understand, but he obeyed. Crack, scuff mark, pothole. With each small target, his breathing steadied. His mind, once a storm of doubt, grew quiet. He was no longer running a marathon, he was just running to the next landmark. Then the next... The coach's voice echoed in his head. "Forget the finish line. Just win the next mile." This is the 1-mile mindset. It's the secret weapon of marathon runners, entrepreneurs, artists, anyone facing a monumental task. The goal isn't the entire 26 miles. The goal is just 1 mile. Run it well, recover, and then do it again. The finish line is a mirage. It distracts you, drains your energy, and magnifies every doubt. But 1 mile is real. It's tangible. You can conquer 1 mile. An hour passed. Leo had run dozens of these micro-races. He reached the crest of a hill and paused. Turning back, the starting line was gone, swallowed by the distance. He looked ahead. The golden glow of the finish line was no longer a faint speck. It was a brilliant, beckoning arch. He hadn't noticed it, getting closer. He'd been too busy winning the mile he was in. The coach's words came back to him. The marathon isn't won at the finish line. It's won in the 10,000 tiny decisions to just run the next 10 feet. To just win the next mile. He finally understood. The secret to finishing isn't a grand burst of motivation at the start. It's the quiet, relentless discipline of focusing only on the step in front of you, that book you want to write. Don't think about 300 pages, just write 1 page. That business you want to build? Don't obsess over $1 million launch. Just get your first customer. The finish line will take care of itself if you take care of the mile. Break it down, focus small, win the mile. That's how you finish anything. Thanks for watching. Follow for more. Leo took the step, then another, but the habit of the big picture was an addiction. He kept looking for the end, needing to know he was almost there, but he wasn't. The gap between his reality and his expectation was tearing him apart. He was running 1 mile while carrying the weight of 25 others on his back. Coach Eli, seeing this, rode up beside him. "Eyes down, Leo," he said sternly. "Stop looking for the sunset. You don't live there. You live here. In this mile. This minute." Leo, panting and frustrated, shot back. "But I need to know, ... how much is left?" "Whatever is right in front of you," the coach replied, his voice firm. "That telephone pole, that's your finish line. Run a race to the pole. Then we stop. Then we start a new race." And just like that, everything changed. Leo's world shrank. The crowd, the sky, the distant, golden finish line, it all blurred into a swirl of color and sound. The only thing that mattered was the telephone pole, 100 yards away. His anxious thoughts faded, replaced by the steady, rhythmic beat of his heart and his feet hitting the pavement. He reached the pole. He didn't celebrate. He just picked a new target, a gnarled oak tree up ahead. That was the next finish line. Then a red mailbox. Then a mile marker. He wasn't running a marathon anymore. He was simply collecting a series of small, manageable victories. He was chaining together 1 perfect mile after another. The desperation in his eyes was gone, replaced by a fierce, narrow focus. This was the 1-mile mindset in action. It was working. He felt strong, in control. He passed another mile marker, his breath now deep and steady. He looked up, ready for his next target, his next micro-race, but this time, there was nothing. Just a thick, gray, empty mist. No pole, no tree, no Coach Eli. He slowed to a stop, his feet suddenly feeling like lead. The rhythmic beat was gone, replaced by a deafening silence. He was utterly alone, lost in the void between the start and the finish. The middle, this is where dreams go to die. It's where the initial excitement has worn off, and the finish line is still too far to see. For Leo, the markers were gone. Coach Eli was gone. He was left with the only thing that actually matters, the conversation he was having with himself. Panic set in. He spun around, looking for a sign, anything to tell him he was making progress. Nothing. Just the swirling mist and the ghosts of his past African books. Dusty gym memberships, abandoned plans, all mocking him from the fog. He dropped to his knees, exhausted, the silence broken only by the heavy thud of his own heart. He whispered into the void, "I can't see where I'm going." Then, a voice echoed in his memory, his coach's words from long ago. "You don't need to see the end to deserve it. You just need to earn the next step. One step is a finish line. Cross it." Leo looked down at his feet. He didn't need a telephone pole. He didn't need a mile marker. He could define the target himself. With his finger, he drew a small line in the dirt, just inches in front of his knee. He got up. He took one single, deliberate step over that line. That was it, a tiny victory. And he looked up, into the dense fog just a few feet ahead. He picked a patch of gray and decided, that is my finish line. And he started to run. Not a sprint, just a steady pace toward his self-made target. As he moved, something incredible happened. The fog began to burn away. Not because the weather changed, but because he was generating his own momentum. With every micro-finish he crossed, that golden light from the real finish line got brighter, closer. He kept setting new, small finish lines. A strangely shaped cloud. A darker patch of road. Cross it. Pick the next one. Cross it. Suddenly, the golden light exploded into view. It was the silhouette of the true finish line. With a final burst of energy, Leo surged forward and broke through the tape, his arms raised in a V for victory. On one side, you have the starter, head in hands, paralyzed by the sheer size of the mountain ahead. On the other, the finisher, arms raised, having conquered it. Here's the secret. The finish line isn't a destination. It's a habit. You don't finish what you start because you're waiting for the end to come to you. But the end is built by 1,000 tiny beginnings. Stop looking at the whole mountain. Look down at your feet. Take the step. Finish the step. And repeat that process until you fly. So, I have a question for you. What's one thing you've started but stopped? Don't think about the final, intimidating result. Just identify your very next step. Your next telephone pole. Write it down in the comments below, and let's cross that first line together. Thanks for watching.